American football. How did it get to where it is today? How did it begin? How were the rules established? Without Harvard football, the game would never have the drastic changes that create the game that we have today. The first American football game was played on November 6th, 1869 between Rutgers and Princeton, two college teams. The game was played between two teams of 25 players each. Rutgers won the game 6-4. But changes needed to be made. Representatives of Yale, Columbia, Princeton, and Rutgers met on October 19, 1873 to create a standard set of rules for all schools to adhere to. Teams were set at 20 players each in fields of 400 by 250 feet. The game was dangerous and consisted of violent collisions and mass formations, which involved interlocking interference, resulted in serious injuries and deaths. In 1905, President Theodore Roosevelt summoned coaches and athletic advisors from Harvard, Yale, and Princeton to the White House to discuss how to improve the game of football, especially by reducing the element of brutality in play. A leading proposal at the time was widening the field to allow more running room and reduce serious collisions. While it was popular among committee members, Harvard objected. Their recently completed stadium could not accommodate a wider field. Built in 1903, it was the nation's first stadium built for college football. Harvard Stadium is a horseshoe containing architectural elements of a Greek stadium and Roman circus, and is considered an engineering marvel. It was the world's first massive reinforced concrete structure and the first large permanent arena for American college athletics. Because of the permanent nature of the new Harvard Stadium, the proposal was rejected and the forward pass was legalized in April 1906. Harvard Stadium led to the creation of two of the most fundamental aspects of modern American football: standard field dimensions of 100 yards by 53 1/3 yards, and a legal forward pass. The Harvard-Yale rivalry is renewed annually as the game. The game has influenced collegiate rivalries since 1875. It has introduced many aspects of American football. It featured the first collegiate fight song, mascot, and cheerleading at athletic events. Even today, Harvard football still has great effect on changes in the world of collegiate football. Rules are often tested in the Ivy League before becoming effective in FBS football. Rules that were experimented first in the Ivy League were ones such as kickoffs being moved up from the 35-yard line to the 40 and touchbacks from the 20-yard line to the 25. The aim of the 5-yard move was to have more kickoffs land in the end zone to incentivize returners to stay behind their goal line for a touchback and reduce returns and the collisions that occurred during them. Ivy League football coaches have taken the extraordinary step of eliminating all full contact hitting from practice during the regular season, the most aggressive measure yet to combat growing concerns about brain trauma and other injuries in the sport. These precautions are beginning to take place all over the country. Concussion protocol has become more relevant in football in the past 20 years than it ever has before. This is greatly due to the efforts of Chris Nowinski. Chris Nowinski is co-founder and executive director of the Concussion Legacy Foundation. Chris's interest in brain trauma stems from personal experience. An all-Ivy League defensive tackle for the Harvard football team, Chris suffered a serious concussion in June 2003, but due to lack of understanding, he was not honest about his symptoms and continued to pursue athletics and worked out for 5 weeks while symptomatic. In an effort to educate the world about this serious public health issue, Chris would go on to write the critically acclaimed book, Head Games: Football's Concussion Crisis, in 2006. In 2007, Chris co-founded Concussion Legacy Foundation with Dr. Robert C. Cantu to solve the sports concussion crisis through education, awareness, policy, and research. Chris's efforts led to the creation of safer equipment, stricter rules, and an all-around safer game. That would not have been possible without the help of his education and experience from Harvard football. Harvard University has and will forever have lasting effects on the world of research, math, business, and overall intelligence. But Harvard will never impact all of those areas as much as it did the game of American football.